Austerity in the UK. Firstly, I'll provide an insight into my own background. After having initially worked in the fields of insurance and teaching, I became a financial education campaigner. This involved me in a range of activities, from helping parents learn to budget with a limited income, to visiting schools incorporating interactive activities in my talks about the importance of saving and not going into debt. Students will be given a list of needs and wants, such as cosmetics, accommodation, heating, eating out, to mobile phones and even toilet paper. They had to list them in order of what they considered to be their priority. Sixth form students would calculate the net income of people who worked in a selected industry and then subtract an estimate of living costs, such as food and pension payments, and heating and transport. A reality check for everyone involved, with some reconsidering university as a viable option. You see, students are actively encouraged to become indebted when they go to university with tuition fees and the rapidly increasing costs of accommodation. Yet university vice-chancellors are often very well compensated within this further education industry. It's just not fair. Now, I don't subscribe to the mantra that the next generation have it easy, not at all. Indeed, due to successive governments being profligate with taxpayers' money, given away to the rest of the world, including the EU, there's various mistakes made in procurement expenditure as well, with the NHS and the military, for example. So really, we must question whether our MPs have what it takes to do the job. Our government needs to take its own reality check. Our elected representatives must leave their Westminster bubble, where they mix with like-minded individuals with similar backgrounds and expense accounts, and see how the real people of the United Kingdom live. It's estimated that 300,000 people live on the streets each day. Visiting any major city, you may be forgiven for thinking that we've returned to some bygone era where social injustice is the norm. In London the other week, walking through Chelsea, I needed to ask a passerby for directions. We started a conversation, and I was suddenly asked, "You won't guess who I am." The lady told me that she was homeless and gave me an insight into her life. Her father's house had been used to fund his nursing home costs. Afterwards, her husband defrauded her out of her half of the marital home and had since left the country. As a mum with two grown-up sons, she was too embarrassed to tell them about her current plight. It saddens me knowing that our elected leaders are so out of touch with those they declare that they represent. She believes she was one of the lucky ones, having been allocated a room in the shelter, so has somewhere to leave her belongings. That said, she walks the streets and sits in libraries from 7:30 in the morning until 9 p.m. at night. We need to think more deeply about the people we send to Parliament in the future. Parliament is not fit for purpose. Our current representation are merely continuing the inequities that have been put in place by previous governments. We also need to do our bit to help people who are less fortunate than ourselves. People are suffering through loneliness, poverty, homelessness, mental health issues, gambling addictions. The list is endless. I would like to make a direct appeal to you today. Please get in touch with a charity or church in your community and make a difference. Let's make our country great again. Thank you for listening.